bills must have come from a document of verification. Can we get that document if it is there? Then number two, let us get that aging analysis, which includes all the pending bills and when they were incurred. And number three, as Senator Charge is saying, a payment plan. For the 450 million, maybe this financial year, when else will the other money be paid? Then we try to follow through for that payment to be done.
Fine, so I subscribe to that, but the only thing that will direct immediately is a control of budget. In terms of requisitions from Trans Nzoia County, those first two items, gratuity to county officers attached to the governor's office, they are older than 3 years because they are 2021. They're actually 4 years old. It is the recommendation of this committee that the control of budget does not approve any requisition until those gratuities that are older than 4 years, a payment plan is put in place or they are settled. It is only 52 million. I do not think it will cripple the entity. So in the other requests for detailed payment plans, I think when you're writing our reports, we'll subject it to the 60-day implementation period and the auditor will advise. But then again, auditor, this query was not properly captured, so it looks as if the Senate is the one doing the audit. If it was well done, we would be out of that matter. So let's proceed to the matter of deposits and retentions. Deposits and retentions, auditor, you confirmed that now you have a schedule.
Yes, I confirm we have a schedule, and likewise we have also the aging analysis, and we have also confirmed the same amount is in the bank.
So, Governor, you see why I was asking how the exit meeting was done. If on 18th December, the auditor reported that he didn't have a schedule, and today on 29th of January, he's telling us he has a schedule, we are wondering where is the problem?
Mr. Chairman, during the exit meeting, of course, the auditor gives us the issue that they are flagged out. And before they do the letter, we are given some time to respond, to provide documents to support some of those issues that have been raised before they do the final letter. That's the time when we provide some of this information. So we don't provide them during the exit meeting. But I must admit, of course, after the exit meeting, some officers don't provide that information until when it's late.
The next one is inaccuracies in the statement of cash flows. Again, the auditor, you are telling us that this has now been addressed?
Yes, Chair. What the client provided, or what the difference regarded to, was related to assets which did not require cash outflow, either donations or issues like depreciation and such, which were being written back. So yes, I can confirm that the 144 million has now been addressed.
So then, under the financial statements, you had 4 qualifying issues. In your view, of course, the opinion can't change. But are the financial statements still qualified?
Chair, given I think the trade payables, which, as you mentioned, is almost a third of the budget, we don't seem to have conclusively can confirm that the actual pending bill is 2.5 because the verification process is still ongoing, and this was the situation as at 18th December when the certificate was issued. So it would still be qualified as of to date, given that one issue seems to still be not adequately addressed.
Senator Sifuna?
Chair, there's a point you made one time about county entities fearing getting unqualified reports. I don't know what argument you had advanced that time, but it appears, Governor, that your team simply didn't want to get an unqualified report.
This one's unqualified, Mr. Chair.
No.
If you look at it.
If you had addressed all those issues, if you had addressed all those issues in December, there would have been a different opinion. Chair, what was your argument for people not wanting unqualified reports.
They didn't want attention to be on them, particularly the technicians, because when you have an unqualified opinion, we come with a very cynical view. But I also take a very cynical view of this report. And I must, this one, Auditor General, you must do a more rigorous job. It cannot be this committee to ask you why you didn't ask this question. And doing a rigorous job is not about persecution or anything. It's about helping the entity to improve their practices. So I don't want us to poke holes in the report of the Auditor General. Let's take it as it is. But now let's go to the other aspects of lawfulness and effectiveness.
For us, we've, as a county, we are determined to have unqualified reports. And actually had agreed that any chief officer with any audit query, they'll just go home. And now we have advertised all the vacancies because they are audit queries. So you know, some they just want to play around with. What they want to kufanya interview tena because of this issue that have been raised in the.
So one standard recommendation we'll make on all the 4 issues that you have attempted to explain. We'll be asking the governor to take administrative action on the officers who did not provide the documents at the time of audit, and we'll also be invoking the provisions of Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, which criminalizes that kind of practice. So even though you have explained it, but there has to be some consequences. The senior counsel, the only man in this room who has been president of something, can go on record.
Yes, Chairman, my name is Kongo Mogeni, Senator of Nyamira and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Karibu.
I never went on record. I just commented on something.
Oh yeah, please.
For those of us who doesn't know, my name is Senator Mwenda more fire. The county member of this committee.
Karibu. Informally, we call him the Assistant Deputy President because he's a friend to our friend, the Professor. So let's go to the other section on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. I think this is the first report I'm seeing where the auditor has not queried, the auditor has not said unsupported expenditure, irregular procurement. It is looking too good to be true. But let's go to what is before us. Governor, I know you're also surprised. Too good to be true.
Chair, if I may mention, all the 4 issues actually fall under unsupported.
No, auditor, these are bookkeeping things. Fine, let's proceed. Lawfulness.
For lawfulness, what I would say, actually, the governor has concentrated on prior projects or projects started earlier on, so the procurement issues might not be new. They are a bit aged. So
fine. Let's just go point by point. Failure to appoint a steering committee for migration to accrual reporting. Governor, you are cited by the National Treasury. We had a meeting with them 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they indicated that you had not established this committee. Has it been established? And if yes, when was it established? Steering committee for migration to accrual reporting.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I want to confirm that the steering committee has been appointed in place and it has held 1 meeting. The members were appointed on 27th of November 2025. That's under Appendix 4A on page 40 of our document.
Auditor General, on 27th of November 2025, you had not exited the county. How come you reported that they failed to appoint the steering committee?
That evidence was not provided. However, we were also looking at financial statements up to that 30th of June 2025. So I believe these are some of the actions happening as a result of our audit reports, either the management letter or the preliminary reports that we had given to the county. Thank you, Chair.
When were they supposed to establish them? What was the cutoff?
The letter from Treasury was on 1st of April 2025? 14th. Yeah, 14th of April. So anytime, maybe April, May, June.
So we shall recommend the governor takes administrative action on the responsible officer who was supposed to establish this, because even though it has been done late. It ought to have been in place earlier to help in things like depreciations, amortization, liabilities, and all these things that are coming in with accrual accounting. Now, the failure to establish the committee, did it have a bearing on the financial statements or on financial reporting, OAG?
Yes, actually the things we are struggling with, including the pending bills, as the chief officer mentioned, that the mandate of this committee is on receivables and payables. So yes, they do have a bearing on the financial statements. Thank you, Chair.
So let's go through the statements and see that implication. The next one was on compliance with 1/3 basic salary rule. I think this we can keep in view because we understand that there could even be new NHIF rates. And the chair of the Delegated Legislation Committee has just walked out. We wanted to find out whether he has subjected those rates to public participation. So it looks like this problem will persist as long as we keep changing the tax regime for the employed. I hope we can get oil so that we stop raiding people's pockets. Persons with disability, non-compliance with employment requirements. You are at 1% against a target of 5%. Is this an improvement or you are regressing?
Just maintain, Mr. Chairman. And we've not been carrying out recruitment of late because of matters of wage bill. But we give a commitment that once we advertise, because we are going to employ nurses in due course, we'll encourage people, persons with disabilities to apply. Mr. Chairman, they have to apply first. If they don't apply, then they cannot be considered.
I think you are giving us a dangerous and a bit insensitive answer, because this law, we passed it just last year in 2025. So perhaps a better approach would be to say that you will progressively implement the provisions of that law. I think if we argue that they are not applying, then it means that even the law is not applicable. This was Senator Crystal Asige's bill, which we all passed, and I think everyone celebrated. And I believe, I don't know whether there were certain transitional clauses in it, but I think a better approach would be a progressive implementation. I don't know, Senator.
Yeah. Though I think the governor is right. They must first apply. You see, if you don't apply for employment, you will not be employed. I think his response.
But between the 2025 when we passed the law and today, has there been an opportunity for them to apply?
We haven't advertised any positions. That's why I say we are going to apply to advertise for nurses. And when they apply, we'll make a provision of 5%. But they must apply for those slots for them to be considered for the 5%. Yes.
Liz, in your response, you are saying you made an advert and only very few applied. Is that factual or is just a generic statement?
Chair.
Because I'm looking at his response, and he says very few applied, and those who applied did not meet the minimum requirements.
No, this thing is a consumer requirement. We've been applying even before this law came into place. No, we are employing revenue officers, economists, and they did not apply. I think the most important thing for me from where I sit is to give consideration in terms of requirements. If maybe it's a D+ for everybody, can you make it maybe a D-? Because of the challenge they go through even to get that D+, not like people who are able.
Chair, through you, Governor, we have previously rejected this argument that somehow certain people don't apply for positions. I remember when we were discussing this issue of ethnic balance, you cannot tell me that a Kikuyu staying in Kitale will refuse to apply for a job, and then there's a colleague of yours who came and told us that people from outside that county do not apply for jobs. You and me as political leaders know what exactly is happening in our counties, because there are people who think certain counties belong to certain people, so that if you come from Bungoma, you can't apply for a job in Trans Nzoia. They will tell you, nyinyi muko na yenu. Especially because of the special nature of PWDs. I agree with you. This is an affirmative action measure, so that there have to be deliberate efforts to be able to get them to even apply. It is not something you just say they don't apply. We have rejected that argument here. And if you ask these senators here, actually Kenyans want to work. We are asked for jobs every day. They send me messages in the thousands saying, I just want to come even if I'm going to sweep your office. So it is not possible that you can say people don't apply. If you look at recruitments that happen at the national level, you are looking for 20 people, you get 50,000 applications. So, Governor, that argument that people don't apply for jobs, here we really don't agree with such arguments.
Maybe let's get all of this first so that you can respond at once.
Two things, Governor. One, this is a constitutional obligation. So, as Senator Sifuna has said that. Number two, out of 3,661, 51 employees are people living with disability. My question to the Governor, how many people, including your partisan staff, have you employed, including casual employees? And finally, I thought in any advert, even if you open online or any, there are always a red line that says PWDs and youth and women are encouraged to apply. So I thought that is how you encourage. Senior council, it is not that they refuse to apply. For some of us who have interacted with the officials from PWD Council, they even have their own ID if you have doubt. So, Chair, I agree with Senator Sifuna.